How's it going, guys? My name is Dolphin. Welcome to part 2 of our 1's series. Today we're going to be changing up the format a little bit. What that means is, for part 1, we had done live commentary on 2 of my own replays. And I think people enjoyed that a little bit, but I think what we're doing now is going to be a lot more helpful. And so instead of those live commentaries for like 2 of my own videos, what I'm going to be doing is still doing 1 of my own, but it's not going to be live. It's going to be afterwards, going to do a replay analysis of that. And I'm also going to do a replay analysis of a gold or plat player to get more of that diversity in players in order to help people of all skill levels. I think that'll be very helpful. Also do the highlights instead of the entire game. And yeah, I think this new format will work out really well. Before we get into the first replay, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe in order to support me in making more of these videos. Also, if you want me to analyze your replay in an upcoming video, comment down below. With this first replay, I'm going to watch from the loser's perspective in order to showcase the mistakes that could have been fixed in order to win. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so getting into this first replay, there's going to be, I'm pretty sure, gold 3 versus a plat, and right off the bat, already, this is not how you should be doing kickoffs. A front flip is just not going to work. What you should be doing is diagonal to the right on this kickoff, right? You diagonal right, and then you try and get your car centered on the ball. What that means is parallel to the posts of your goal, right? You're straight dead center of the ball, so that no matter what they do, you're basically blocking all angles. Because if you hit it from the side, it's just going to pinch out and towards your net. It'll go off the wall. Everyone's seen it. It goes off the wall and into your net somehow. It seems lucky, but it's just because you had a bad kickoff. First off, it slows you down a ton because you can't boost. So it'll start pushing you forward as you're flipping forward. But then once you're starting to face back on that flip, you're going to be pushing yourself back, slowing you down. That's why a diagonal kickoff is so important. It's because you can boost the entire time, get supersonic quickly, and if you're boosting the entire time, never is your car facing backwards. Oh wow, wait. That's insane. He just faked him. I definitely think that's a thing people should try and go for, is definitely a lot of fakes. You have to mix and match, of course. You can't, if you try and fake it every time, eventually they'll figure it out and they'll just take it by. By the way, I'm pretty sure Telemo did a speed flip, which I can't even do. This is a plat doing something that not even I can do. At this rank, you don't have to worry about them getting air dribbles, really. Or at least good ones. As you can see, he kind of just pushes the ball in general. Sometimes they'll get a bit lucky, but for the most part, if you watch where their car is positioned on that ball, you will clearly see that he's just pushing it. He's not going to get any air on that ball. So you just got to try and get a good 50, which Harry does not, right? Tries to go for this, but ends up facing towards his net, meaning that any 50 he gets still is facing, right? It's still facing towards his net. This is pinching this way, straight into his net, and that's where it goes. Again with the air dribble, he got 1 touch on it. He doesn't get a good first touch and ends up hitting the ball in front of him. Right here is immediately once you know that he cannot touch that ball again. And he does notice that. He does try to fake him there. Ends up just hitting it up. I do think it was the right idea to try and mess him up a little bit, but gets a bit too far under the ball. Even a backflip would have been good. I'm seeing a bit too much of him going right for the ball, right? Which is fine in most cases, but like here, he sees Telemo is going to the side, so he can take a little bit more time. Instead, he ends up flipping it to Telemo. He just passes it to him, which then Telemo does the exact same thing. He does it again. He does get a backflip, but again, right, to Telemo. And that led to a goal. The entire time was just pass after pass to each other. Nothing's getting done. You can take your time, dribble it, which, by the way, if you don't know how to dribble the ball, then you really have to. You have to learn how to do that as soon as possible in 1's. That's all 1's is, especially at this level, is ground play. For the most part, 1's is ground play. And like right there, he made it. Telemo made a good play, and that led to a goal. He just had to make one good ground play. He's not grabbing any boost pads with it, which is an issue. The entire period, he just did not grab a single boost pad. And 1's, you really got to pay attention to this. Right here, he can take this boost pad right here, first of all. And be ready for any shot. Telemo ends up hitting it over here. So he can take 1, 2, 3, and he'll be fine. Meaning he does not have to grab this boost. And by him grabbing this boost, Telemo is in a position to score. And Harry's turning around. Right? So if he gets any more power on that shot, Harry's not going to get there. If he gets a good shot over to this side of the net, Harry's not getting it. Let's see, does that go in? Yeah. So, right here, I don't think it's terrible to grab boost, but he turned the wrong way. Right here, you can clearly see that Telemo is going to beat him. He's going to get a touch on this. It might not go into net, but, I mean, in this situation, it does. But even if it doesn't, he's still beating you to the ball, so there's no point in going for it. You don't have any defenders left. You have to be that last man always. So if they're going to beat you to something, you should not go for it. Right? There's no point. So instead of turning this way, you should be turning around back on your own wall and saving it. Right? You should be jumping for that a lot earlier. If you jump off the wall way back here, before Telemo can get to that, you can either shoot it out of net or just get it down the field, and Telemo's still heading towards your net. It's not too bad. Takes it slow, which is good. Should definitely be getting a lot better of a 50 here. Probably flipping out into this just to try and hit it middle and also flip into middle. So once Telemo is stuck on that wall, Harry and the ball, they can just go towards his net. But because he didn't do that, that's going to be a free goal for Telemo. He uses all his boost to get there and then gives away the ball. So it's definitely not something he should be doing, because now Telemo knows he has 0 boost and he can kind of just shoot it. He could have taken it a lot slower though. Like, Telemo knows he doesn't have any boost. Instead of just shooting it, take it a bit slower. But Harry ends up just hitting it back to him again. Does get 100, but he should have had boost the entire time. Or at least grab some boost pads, because he uses all the boost and then just hits it over to Telemo. If you're going to give the ball away, you might as well get an 100 boost, right? So I think what's difficult for people to realize a lot of the time in 1's is, well, most of the time they look at the play and are like, oh, I should have maybe just jumped for it here or something. But that's usually not the case of why you got scored on. It's usually a combination of things that you might not immediately see in game or in a replay analysis. Yeah, you might not have jumped for it at the correct time, but what also led for that is your many bad touches before then that gave him the ball. He just waits for this. Like, if Telemo's not even off the ground yet, you can easily beat him to this ball, because he only touches it right there, right? even touch it way before then. With that little pop, you have to go for it, especially if you're in this position. If you're back post, then yeah, you can kind of wait for it. But when you're this far up your net, right? If you're at this near post to him, you can't really aerial backwards as fast as you can forwards. So you just gotta challenge this. Right now, no matter what you do, you are not saving that ball. You are not in a position to save it unless he hits it right to you. He hits it anywhere else in the net, you're screwed. So you gotta jump for this. Okay, so now that we are done with that first replay, I want to talk about the main things that Harry should have worked on and that you should work on as well. So the first thing I saw right off the bat was his kickoffs. He was front flipping, which as I explained is a really bad way to do it, and probably the best way to fix it is just with diagonal kickoffs. There are a bunch of tutorials out there you can look at, because when you do that, you're not slowing yourself down, you can boost the entire time through it. The second thing I'd say that Harry needs to work on is dribbling. Dribbling is huge in 1's. Your ground control is what allows you to win and actually score goals. I think the best way to work on dribbling is using the custom training Dribble 2 overhaul. If you're on PC, you can go to the workshop section of Steam and download that. If you're not on PC, if you're on console, just go into free play, practice it. Number 3 is giving away the ball. I saw this a lot, is that Harry was giving away the ball to the opponent when he didn't have to. He ended up just hitting the ball to the opponent and running away, which is something you really should not be doing. You should try and keep that ball with you as much as you can in 1's. And then I think the fourth and final thing, which I'm going to be covering a lot more in my own replay, is challenges, is when to challenge the ball. I think in my own replay, that's going to be way more obvious to see, and I can explain a lot better, so keep watching to see that. But yeah, I think those are the four main things: diagonal kickoffs, dribbling, giving the ball away, or I guess not giving the ball away, and challenges. Okay, so this replay of myself is going to be a bit quicker. I've edited the first part of this video and it's already looking to be a bit long, so we're going to really focus on just challenges in this. Alright, so starting off, you can already see diagonal kickoffs work a lot better. I'm working on speed flips right now, which was what that PLAT earlier did. So immediately right there is a good challenge on my part, and notice how I'm shadowing him, right? I'm watching where his car is and kind of mimicking it with my own. I'm pointing the same direction as his car basically, and I know after this touch he's not going to be able to do much, right? He gets the flip, he's throwing himself over me basically. So I know I can immediately turn on this ball, get a touch, maybe even grab some boost there. He does get close though. I do believe this ends up being a goal. Bad touch by him, but it led to a goal. That was a really good challenge on my part. Basically challenges you want to try and do when you see your opponent make a mistake. Whenever you're shadowing the opponent, and actually I'll explain what shadowing is real quick. It's basically putting your car in a position like you're the shadow of him, right? You know how you're outside, you know, sun's on you, you look down, you see your shadow, it's doing the same movements as you. That's basically what you're doing on defense. And by me doing that and waiting for him to mess up, once he messes up, I can just turn on that ball and get a good touch. And there I hit it over to the side, grab boost, and put on a shot. Waiting for them to make a mistake is going to be very helpful, especially in those like gold, plat, even diamond ranks. you can really wait for them to make a mistake. They're not going to do too much. They're not going to be perfect, right? They're not perfect at their ground control, so eventually they will make a mistake, and you can profit off of that. Another thing that's very important that I'm currently working on, and you probably saw back there, was, and you might even see right here a little bit, I'm trying to work on not overcommitting, which I kind of did there. I do get back in time, but there's no point in throwing yourself for a shot if it could possibly mean when they get the save, they get a free shot. Let's see. So again, I'm waiting for a mistake on him. He makes a mistake right there, and I go right for the ball. Although I kind of miss it, this is a really good challenge. Right when I see that bounce off his car, right, you see I'm doing basically exactly what his car is doing. My car is pointing the exact same direction. I'm a little bit off to the side, so that if he does take a shot, I'm not directly facing my net, which is really hard to take a save. Saves are easiest done if you're coming from the side, right? You can hit it into the corner or hit it into the side. That's the best save you can get. So if you're just mimicking what their car is doing and just like a little bit off to the side so that you can then actually turn for a challenge or actually make the save, that's probably the best position you can be in, and that's what I'm doing right here. Make sure you're not too close to them or not too far from them. And right here, right when I see that, right as you see that little pop off his car, you see me immediately turning for this ball, and he knows it as well. He knows I'm going to go for that ball. He tries to take a shot, but doesn't work out in his favor. And now I have a free shot, which that works. Forgot that happened. But yeah, I went for the 50. He missed, and that was a free goal for me. This is another thing that you should be doing is with challenges. Mix it up on whether you're shadowing or just jumping for the ball. Now, there are situations, of course, where one or the other is not a good idea, where maybe shadowing isn't a good idea, or challenging right away is not a good idea. I feel like challenging right away is a bit more risky, but it's definitely something you should incorporate, especially if you've shadowed the past couple, you should try and challenge it a lot earlier. If you've been playing really aggressive, then you can actually bait them a lot into flicking it. Because if they're dribbling it towards you and you're shadowing, right? If you're doing that, if you kind of like fake turn in a few times, eventually they'll flick it, and that's a mistake for them. So then you can jump, save that pretty easily. But if you fully commit, you're not going to be getting that, right? They think you're going to commit on it, so they flick it over you. But in reality, you're just tilting your car a little bit to the side. Just a little bit to the side, make it seem like you're challenging them, and then they're going to make a mistake, flick it, shoot it, and that was actually fake, and you can just save it. So that's going to be the end of that replay, because our opponent did end up forfeiting, which you should never do. Even if it's 10-0, it's still good to keep playing, right? You can still learn from it. You can watch over that replay and improve. I think the two main takeaways from this, which are kind of connected but at the same time not, is your shadow defense and your fake challenges. So shadowing puts you in a position so that you are ready for basically anything the opponent does. And then your fake challenges kind of throw him off to cause him to make a mistake. And then you use that shadow defense to save the ball. Also, waiting for your opponent to make a mistake is very important, but those fake challenges force them to make those mistakes. So waiting for it is good sometimes, like when my opponent jumped off the wall and I knew I didn't have to fake challenge. He was just going to flip for that, and he ended up throwing himself over me, and I just had to wait. I just had to wait there, turn on the ball, and then end up scoring. But those fake challenges, when they're doing a ground play, are very important. It causes them to make a mistake, and that shadow defense you're doing, that allows you to be in a position to then actually challenge, actually make that save, actually make the hit. Alright, that's going to be the end of today's video. Hope you all enjoyed and learned something from this video that you can then apply to your own gameplay.